Presentation on the project was done by the CEO of the group, Mr. Sophocles.
Everything that we are going to do and develop in Gambia is going to be based on the national colors of the country. So
it's a joint venture between BPI Group and Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. And upon completion, Mr. Sophocles said, the 3 integrated development package will establish itself as a natural and smart choice for those who want to live a peaceful and better life, surrounded by lush green areas, ease access to the main facilities, feel safe, and have a positive expectation of the future. Reporting for Grts News, I am Fatou Janembai. We will be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break.
With QCell's 4G, you can access the internet at unbeatable speeds on your laptop or desktop computer. You can also use your mobile or tablet to browse the internet via Wi-Fi. QCell's 4G internet can keep you connected either in your home or in your office. For a limited time, get 50% off regular equipment and 100% off corporate equipment, as well as free installation and free QCell credit. For more information, call 333-3253 or 333-3104. QCell 4G Internet. Fast, affordable and reliable. QCell. Sunibus, the Gambia's quality network.
Welcome back. Mauritanians are gearing up for presidential elections this year. However, the leader of the main opposition party, Mohamed Ould Daddah, has hinted the opposition will boycott the polls if conditions are not met. Their opposition is calling for a proper political supervision of the elections. We have details in this report.
The opposition in Mauritania held a 2-day forum last week called the Forum for Democracy and Unity, during which one of the opposition leaders, Mohamed Ould Daddah, announced the opposition would not participate in presidential elections this year if conditions like transparency and fairness were not met. The opposition said it would participate only if reliable electoral advisory bodies are set up with credible political supervision. In that case, a boycott of the vote could be avoided, unlike the legislative and municipal elections held last November and December. In addition to discussing acceptable conditions for the opposition to take part in the presidential elections, those present at the forum also tried to arrive at an agreement on major challenges like national unity, slavery, and the creation of a long-term framework for the future of the country. The meeting did not, however, enable the opposition to agree upon a candidate to put forward. Mohamed Ould Daddah hinted that the opposition was open to holding talks with the ruling party to find a solution to the political crisis in the country. The government also said it was open to holding discussions with the opposition.
Ongoing negotiations between the government of Benin and trade unions have hit a snag. Trade unions are demanding payment of 2 months of unpaid salaries for employees who have been on strike. Talks have stalled between the two parties. We have details in this report.
Public sector employees in Benin have been on strike since January 7th. Negotiations between the government and trade unions have come to a standstill. A new point of contention is the employees' demand that their salaries be paid for the duration of the strike. But for the government, 2 months of pay is too much. As for the 2 months of unpaid salaries due to the strike, we have accepted to pay 1 month. And we are requesting that unions urge employees to return to work. Public sector employees are striking over poor pay and limited opportunities for promotion. Their first protest, held in December, ended with a brutal crackdown by police. Since then, Benin's administration has practically grinded to a halt. Courts are open only on Mondays and Fridays. The same is true of hospitals, where personnel are threatening a walkout. Students at the University of Abomey-Calavi were told that if courses failed to resume in 3 weeks, they would have to repeat the year. Students are tired of this. We've had enough of this forced vacation. Unions are also demanding strike pay for a strike conducted in 2012. The government says it will deliberate for 3 months before announcing its decision. Democracy accepts a strike because a strike is the only way a worker can exert pressure. The refusal to pay our wages during the strike is illegal and something we will not negotiate. On Friday, President Boni Yayi announced that the government had considered the strikers' demand and was prepared to pay their last 2 months of salaries. Unions are cautious. They have not said, however, whether the strike will resume on Tuesday.
Well, from that story, we'll take you back to our earlier mentioned story. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh has enjoined the business community in the country to operate and create wealth for the Gambia. Given the important role the private sector plays in the development of the nation, the Gambian leader said government will continue to invest significant resources in the promotion of trade and industry. These remarks were delivered by the Vice President, Her Excellency Dr. Ajar Isatunjai Saidi on Saturday at the opening of the 7th GCCI Trade Fair at the Independence Stadium. Ibrahim Abalde reports.
At the Independence Stadium, welcome to the 7th edition of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Trade Fair. More than 200 stalls are expected to compete in the next 3 weeks for anyone with money to spend. These businesses include consumer goods, luxury items, technology, and other price gadgets. It is for this reason that the Vice President, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Isatunjai Saidi, inspected some of the stalls with a view to finding out for herself the latest trends in the business community. This is usually the high point of the trade fair, where the business executives interact with ordinary people marketing their products. Being the chief patron of GCCI, the Vice President represented the President at the trade fair, which was also attended by several cabinet ministers, senior government officials, prominent Gambians, and a cross-section of the business community.
It is gratifying to note that our business community, including small and medium enterprises, are taking advantage of this platform to market as well as sell their products and services. Of course, given the impressive presentations we are about to see of their exhibitions. However, in this day and age, with increased competition as well as creativity and innovation, those two are key building blocks for success. I would therefore call on our business community to embrace this phenomenon for posterity. Needless to mention, of course, given the significant role of business, particularly in the development of the economy, my government will continue and always continues to invest significant resources in the promotion of trade as well as industry, with an excellent, conducive environment, no doubt, for businesses to operate and indeed create wealth in the process for our nation.
The private sector has been tasked to work in unison with government to implement critical national development programs. Indeed, the theme for this year's trade fair was entitled Inclusive Growth Through Partnership, reflects some aspects of PAGE, a development blueprint the government is working on.
The concept of inclusive growth should be seen as a process whereby every Gambian, regardless of age, gender, and economic status, is contributing to and benefiting from the country's economic growth. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment has therefore appropriately interpreted this year's theme in line with our core mandate of facilitating the creation of the right business environment to promote private sector growth and development. The Gambia's private sector is characterized by micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, in short MSMEs, which serve as a major source of employment, yet faced with considerable challenges such as low productivity and low income, thus minimizing their impact on poverty reduction.
Over the years, GCCI had tried to encourage meaningful business ventures to explore the opportunities the trade fair presents to them. Minister of Presidential Affairs and Civil Service and Secretary General Office of the President, Mamadou Sabali, said he was impressed with what he has seen so far.
Of late, I've seen some very impressive moves. It's long overdue, though, because from day one, from His Excellency the President took over the country, he emphasized the needs for young people to take initiatives and be responsible and responsive to the development of the country. It took off some time for many people to respond to the call, but what I'm seeing right now is very impressive and promising.
I am pleased to welcome our international participants, especially His Excellency the Indonesian Ambassador from Dhaka and his team. We also have participants from China, Malaysia, Pakistan, Lebanon, Turkey, Syria, India, the Netherlands. And from the region, We have participants from Togo,